Hello, dear listeners. The topic of my persuasive speech is if communicative competence important while learning international languages by students of engineering and technical specialties. It is known that communicative competence has been introduced many years ago in 1936 by Dale Hymes, and since those days it is presented as a key goal of learning international languages. Unfortunately, looking at the life in modern society and in many countries over the world, we should confess that the number of conflicts is constantly growing. Besides, we can see that communicative competence actually exists more declaratively. We know that hardly any conference or abstract collections can be issued without articles about communicative competence. But in reality, all our achievements can be presented as politeness conventions which have been introduced. And we should confess that conflicts are everywhere around us, and even inside companies and firms which exist in the environment of market economy. And 10 years ago, in 2004, it was published a rather interesting article by American authors. It was published in Harvard Business Review in October issue by Christopher Early and Elaine Masakovsky. The authors wrote that nowadays newcomers to work in companies and firms face subcultures which are fighting, and it's rather difficult to understand how to cope with different departments of the same company or firm. And they coined a very good term which describes this phenomenon. It is called cultural quotient, as an analog of intellectual quotient. And interloper or a newcomer can cope with different problems and understand various subcultures, values, and peculiar for the certain company or firm if he or she has a high cultural quotient. And we can see that grammar translation methods, though being defined as really insufficient in learning international languages, still prevails in learning and teaching, because it's easily measured, and even students who also, like their teachers, are overloaded with different works and reports, examinations and tests, what we call paperwork. Quite often they prefer to be tested and to be taught and especially evaluated in the format of grammar translation method, because with the help of this method they can easily prove that the work has been done. Actually, it's not enough, because we all live in a big world, and people nowadays face different global problems which we have to solve, and it looks as if we are becoming more and more interdependent. Even if we live in a big country and the country is economically self-sufficient, we still should be cooperate with other people. And it means that learning international languages requires true and authentic communicative competence. We can use experience and educational heredity from different cultures all over the world, because obviously teachers and educators from different countries all over the world usually impressed the key ideas which we emphasize during our official meetings at conferences and in our numerous collections of abstracts and articles. They spoke about students-centered education a long time ago. For example, we can remember such work as Problem of Man, issued in 1946. The author is John Dewey, the famous philosopher of pragmatism, and his idea that freedom can't be handed as a gift to people is actual nowadays as well as it was actual 50 years ago. And he also wrote that people should be socially active, and the key idea in bringing liberty into our everyday life and into education is social activity of citizens, of everybody. Besides, if we look at engineers and technicians, we can see that they have additional language in addition to subjects they study at universities, academies and other educational institutions. And this is a language of figures and formulas, dimensions and drawings, projects and properties, propriety and progress. And definitely engineers and students can be out of competition if, in addition to their technical language, they can possess communicative competence. And to finish my speech, I'd like to remind one more famous quotation which belongs to Robert Kennedy, the brother of John Kennedy, the 35th President of the USA. And speaking about scientists and engineers, he emphasized that scientists see things as they are and ask why. Engineers see things as they could be and ask why not. So we can teach communicative competence, and engineering students can possess a perfect command of communicative competence. Why not? Thank you for your attention.